Welcome to the Growlers and Gremlins podcast, an alcoholic adventure in cryptids, paranormal, and the occult. Coming to you weekly from the heartland of America.
Hello, and welcome to the Growlers and Gremlins podcast. I think I said that backwards, but oh well.
No, you said that right.
Oh, really? God damn. Welcome to the Brian episode, everybody. I am your favorite host, and returning alive from having the flu. This recording, I guess. I was in the last two episodes, but fuck it. I'm Brian, and to my right, I have...
John, your favorite host, theorist, and dollar store connoisseur.
And to my left...
Your actual favorite host, Jason the analyst.
And the unaborted child to my right...
is your number one plan B man, Jesse.
Yep.
Isn't every child non-aborted?
Maybe there were some that should have been, John. You never know.
Damn.
All right. Well, kicking things off the same way we have the last 2 times 4 times whatever episodes. Our beer of the week is the Ugly Lil Spud. It is a matcha and kiwi sour from the Brewlink Brewing Company of Plainfield, Indiana. We're going to give it a try.
One note, Ugly Lil Spud. Brian's nickname while growing up.
Sorry, I wasn't a spud.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's 2 likes. It's a very light beer, almost no head.
Like for me.
It looks like melted Jolly Ranchers. Let's give it a fucking go.
It tastes like Jolly Ranchers, too. I love it so much.
Do not like... I'll be drinking Pepsi this episode.
I don't hate it, but that's not beer.
It is. It's a sour. It's a different type of beer.
That's not beer.
It's not terrible.
I love it.
I do like it.
It's like candy.
It has no aftertaste.
Like
the taste
candy.
Is all on
the
tip. It's on the front of my tongue.
Just wait a minute, and you get that like sweet, sugary aftertaste like you get with lemonade, where like lemonade, or if you drink straight lemon juice, you know that sweetness that like rolls into your mouth afterwards?
No.
That's what this gives you. It's just like your mouth tastes like pure sugar.
I will attempt again.
It's very
You have
light,
to roll in with no
see-through.
expectations. Don't think of beer. Think of just this drink tastes good.
Well, Jason is dying, everybody. Welcome to the Brian episode. Casualties have yet to reach the 1.
Oh, yeah. No one will ever find a beer I don't like.
Well,
That
I'm
should be
glad.
the new goal of this show. Somebody find a beer I don't like.
That makes you a terrible beer connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
You can't even say connoisseur.
Okay, connoisseur.
Viewers or listeners, whatever, at us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Growl and Gremcast. Find us a beer that John will not like.
Good luck.
Elysian space dust.
The more
I like
Asian,
it.
the better.
I like it.
You do? Oh, God.
Yeah. Like I said, I've yet to, in my life, try a beer that I've been like, no, I can't drink that. Like, yeah, there's some I like more than others, but I've never had a beer that I've just been like, ugh, you know? Like the sample they gave me that was a mixture of multiple beers.
Yeah. Mixes
And they were
don't
like,
always...
I think this is disgusting. And I was like, I'll try it. And I was like, yeah, it's bad, but I finished it.
Yeah.
It was still
Mixes
good
are
enough to
never
drink.
usually good.
How have we not saved a little bit from each growler for a King's Cup, like as a bonus, like social media post?
Because we
That's
thirsty.
not a social media
and
cup. I do that all the time.
These beers are so good. Like, there was no chance of anything being left.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
I-
I'll agree with the last 2.
Yeah, the Ebony was my baby to disappear into.
We got the Ebony because of you.
I know.
Yeah.
I like the darks. But it is the Brian episode. And contrary to all previous experience, I did come with a topic. Now, it's a very speculative topic. There is not a lot you can do to speculate. Actually, there's a lot you can do to speculate. There's not a lot, in fact, because it's such an abstract concept. And I brought the void, or the abyss.
So
Anybody?
we're talking like the void between your ears, or...
No, I'm talking about the void in general. The abyss, the darkness that surrounds us.
I got a feeling that was planned.
What?
Jason saying that.
Probably. He's only had like 6 hours to figure out what he's going to call me. But no, it's the concept.
I don't know what you're talking about, John. I don't pre-plan jokes.
Sure you don't. But no, it's always the concept of the abyss, the great unknown, the terror that we can't see, or the lack of anything that just inspires my life to look into it and be like, that's pretty fucking cool. Because there's so many ways to look at it. the abyss could be the nothingness that is after. Like, if you look at it from certain points of view, we are just a makeup of different molecules and chemicals and everything that created our forms. There was never anything beyond us. We were just a cosmic coincidence. And when we die, black. That's it.
So what you're talking about is existential dread, which...
That's existential dread, yes.
I told you I wanted him for that episode.
Yeah, I mean, I love that concept.
Like that...
It's what is it? It's that what you accomplish in your life means next to nothing in the scope of things. Because in the great abyss of, 7 billion years since the Big Bang? It's like we've been flying through the galaxy at a rate unlike anything that we can comprehend for 7 billion years. It's like that starting point is so far in our rear view that we couldn't live a billion lifetimes and never see it.
You're kind of getting on the concept of, I think we talked about this in one episode before, where the idea that nothing you do matters is both terrifying and comforting.
Yes, it's the existential dread of that. And that...
But it's not always dread. Sometimes
it's not always dread. Some people find comfort in it, but it's at the end of the day, are you fearing the heat death of the universe, or are you fearing what else might be in that abyss? Because you have all the different versions of the abyss.
Fear of the unknown.
In the void. Yeah, the fear of the unknown is the biggest one. And that's the one thing nobody can put a pin in what the void is. Science can tell you it's just empty space with molecules formed into matter moving through it. And that's what makes up the suns, the stars, the galaxies. That's everything that wasn't the void.
This kind of reminds me a little bit of a conversation I had with Jason, like probably 6 months ago. It was about a video you had seen on YouTube, and we were talking about, they were basically putting forth the idea that we're screwed. Whether it had to do with like finding intelligent life in the universe, like the point.
The civilization filter.
Yeah, the civilization filter.
Okay, yeah, the idea that there's this like technological step that either we haven't made it to, or it is so, or are we? No, start over.
It's like
we either already passed it, and that's why we haven't found any other civilizations in our universe. Because they haven't passed that filter yet, or passing that filter destroys your civilization. The idea that there are no other civilizations out there because they destroyed themselves as a part of taking that step, whether it's nuclear weapons or, fission power. Maybe they tried to harness the power of their sun or something.
So the idea that we haven't found anything yet in the void means we're doomed, basically, no matter how you look at it.
It means either we're the first ones to make it through, or no one makes it through.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
To think that we would be the most intelligent and advanced civilization in the universe.
In the galaxy. In the existence of matter. Which brings to the scientific side of the abyss. I mean, we are a galaxy. Our local solar system exists inside a bubble called the Oort Cloud that is a magnetic field produced by the sun.
Oort?
Oort. O-O-R-T.
Okay, yeah,
the Oort Cloud that is a giant magnetic field that surrounds our universe. It's I don't know how many millions of miles it was beyond Pluto. I didn't write it down. But it's a giant, let's say we're inside this cloud, we are a baseball.
I can see that beer growing on Jason.
It's just because it's in front of me. I can't help it.
Yeah. But no, it's like inside this cloud that is our local our solar system. It's like we exist here.
Whoa. Are you talking about our local solar system, like
Sol? Our planets, our sun. That's the solar system.
Okay.
That's all exists within the Oort Cloud. And the Oort Cloud exists within the Milky Way.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this as a scientific, let's say that Oort Cloud, it protects us from all the outside forces of the galaxy at large, which is, we don't even know, because we don't have any satellites beyond it yet, I think. I don't think they've gone past Pluto, have they? I can't remember. I don't think Voyager made it. I think it just hit Saturn in like 2000.
Well,
something.
okay, so we don't have anything physically past there, but we can observe beyond.
We can't observe, but we can't observe with any certainty. All we can really make out is UV photos.
You could argue that nothing is observed with certainty.
Right.
Yes.
So, like a lot of the planets that are discovered are done so through gravitational lensing,
Yes.
where they can tell that they can't actually see the planet, but they can see that its gravitational field is bending light around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also, this is one I've learned recently, based on how the light splits apart as it passes through the atmosphere of these planets, they can determine whether it has
Water, gas,
oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen in the air. Well, we don't know what the planet looks like. We just have a general makeup of its atmosphere and an approximation of its size.
Well, and that's where nothing is observed with certainty, because even using gravitational lensing, the idea of bending light around a gravitational field is theoretical science that is argued.
Yes.
That's general relativity, the idea that objects create a warp in space-time that light would bend around. That's not confirmed either, so everything we observe is just based on our ideas of how things work that we don't know for certain.
Well, gravitational lensing is also the only way we'd be able to observe a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
Is the halo at the event horizon.
I thought we didn't observe it. Didn't they do it through a mathematical equation that they put into direct
translation? That's the hypothetical of how we would observe a black hole.
Am I wrong here, or did a few years ago did we actually get some of the first satellite telescope images of a black hole?
I thought that we.
I'm fairly certain that was just a calculation into what a black hole would look like to a telescope,
right?
If it was able to be pictured. I don't believe it was actually a black hole.
The idea of black holes themselves is theoretical.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what movie it was. There's a space movie not that long ago where scientists gave them the calculations and they rendered out what that would actually look like to a degree that scientists had not been able to obtain because Hollywood graphics processing is so far above what is available to scientists.
What was that?
I can't remember. It was one of the recent space movies.
The one
Matthew
with Tim Allen and what was that one with Tim Allen?
Oh, Tim Allen, Galaxy Quest.
You're such a dick.
What a great movie.
I was thinking the movie. I can't remember the name either.
You're thinking of Interstellar with Matthew
Interstellar.
McConaughey, but that's not the movie.
Okay, that's not the movie.
That's a great movie, though.
I don't think we'll figure it
that
out.
movie kind of makes you wonder.
I'm all about
With,
that movie.
Quantum. Quantum.
Nobody interrupt
stuff.
him.
Come on.
Quantum Harleys.
Quantum.
Quantum computing, quantum
what, Jesse?
entanglement.
I don't know.
Well, we're not moving on till you figure it out.
Now I'm just put on the spot.
Yeah, Jesse, sorry about that. But they threw my...
The quantum realm, I think, is what they were like. You go into, you have no idea what can happen.
Brian
I think Ant-Man was the quantum realm.
That's Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, actually. But yes.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the Wasp was...
technically the quantum realm with Ant-Man, that is getting down to a quantum level, things that are so small. That's not an unreasonable thing for him to have said, because that does technically possibly exist.
Thanks for bringing me back out of that, John.
I'm the one who dumped you in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at least you pulled him out, so good for you. But no, going back to the abyss and how things work, I mean, when you think, I can't remember what my point was before we fucking derailed that subway train, but going back to the Oort Cloud and how we...
Subway, eat fresh.
Touch children.
The official motto of Subway: touch children.
But no, it's like
I love Subway though.
God, I really wish I knew what my fucking point was.
Well, you were talking about the Oort Cloud.
Yeah, how the Oort Cloud essentially protects our galaxy from. I have to imagine it is the forces acting on the expanding galaxy. Think we're inside a little golf ball, hurtling through the galaxy away from the Big Bang that the sun's magnetic field has produced that keeps us rotating. And if that Oort Cloud wasn't there, every part of our solar system would get ripped apart. You get it?
I know what
really
you're talking
hope
about. Given the speed at which we're moving through space, we have a sort
everything
of
would
barrier
scatter.
protecting us rather than the Earth just being obliterated by tiny objects in space.
Well, not even tiny, just being...
We have like a filter.
Yeah, it's like if the sun were to become a white dwarf one day, instead of going supernova, it just burned out, or a black dwarf, I think, is the one that just goes out. It doesn't expand or anything. And that magnetic field were to lessen, and let's say it shrinks to 1/10 of its normal size, and it only encompasses Mercury, Venus, and Earth.
We could lose.
Dead. No, we're still inside of it.
We'd all be dead, though. If that happened to the sun, we would all be dead.
Probably, but that's not the point.
No, definitely.
Whether we're dead or not is not relevant.
It'd be too cold.
It's the abyss. Because I think if the Oort Cloud were to shrink like that, we would lose every planet beyond Earth of what its new magnetic field would be. And all those planets would disappear into the void and be ripped apart.
So which planets stay?
Mercury, Venus, Earth. Let's say the inner three stayed because the magnetic field shrank so much when the sun burned out and became a black dwarf. Then we stay within it, hurtling through space, and suddenly all the other planets that aren't in that magnetic field no longer have the rotation. So wherever they are, they just start straight lining it out into the galaxy, disappearing into the void.
So you're saying that the sun would lose mass,
Yes.
therefore lose gravitational pull, and would not be able to hold in
Yes, I think the sun's
outer planets.
you keep saying magnetism, but I think you mean gravity.
Well, okay.
magnetism,
gravity, both are completely pretty unexplained and very similar forces.
You're trying to get me to say magnets. How do they work? Again, aren't you?
Well, technically, though, because like there are still theories out there that gravity is magnetism. And so, nothing is set. The generally accepted is general relativity, but we don't know. He could be right.
Yeah, maybe I'm not. I'm going to say I did not go into this looking to become a physicist.
Jason's a YouTube scholar.
Okay.
Don't be intimidated.
But no,
I just hope that we are popular enough by the time this episode comes out to be fact-checked by Neil deGrasse Tyson. That'd be hilarious. He'd just be like,
this Brian motherfucker's stupid as hell.
But he's not the ultimate authority on physics, though. He's just a celebrity.
He just likes debunking things.
Yeah. But, I mean, going forward, like that Oort field that is the sun's magnetic field around which everything lives in shrinks to that point. It loses its gravity and magnetism and everything over all the other planets. And they just scatter into the void to either get assimilated however many years down the line by a different galaxy, or they just break apart when they collide with other things.
Well, technically, I think that if certain planets like the gas giants and things, if they were to lose connection with the gravitational pull of the sun and come out of their orbits, then their atmospheres would just dissolve to nothing and they'd essentially not exist.
Does that have anything to do with them actually circling the sun? It has more to do with
I don't know.
The mass at the center of the gas giant,
but
kind of like how our mass holds our atmosphere to the ground.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like that losing that force, they would be left with...
Well, because they wouldn't be going around the sun.
Well, they do currently.
But they would still be rotating around their axis.
Would they, though?
I mean, why would...
I think
no longer being connected gravitationally to the sun.
Okay, so think about those things that you would see in a mall when you were a kid, where you drop a coin down the little thing in the funnel and it goes around. That is essentially what our planets are doing.
Yes and no.
Well, they're being pulled. They're being pulled to the sun while they're actively being launched away from it.
The pull towards and the launch away triggers the rotation.
That's why meteors...
If they don't have that other force, why would they continue to rotate?
No, the rotation of the planet doesn't have affected by that. The path of its orbit is.
Which is the rotation of it around the sun. If the path of the orbit goes away, why would the planet continue to rotate the same way?
Basically, it would have no need to...
Yeah, it would be spinning, but it would be spinning slower and slower until
it would eventually stop.
Forces of... Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Eventually,
hard contact with a meteor could just completely stop it and reverse it.
But that's still the same. If it was in orbit, if a meteor hit it, it would still have.
But that's the thing, is that, like, by that logic of, like, it's just its mass holding its atmosphere together, then that would mean there'd be tons of asteroids out there that just have an atmosphere. And that's not the case.
Yes and no, because
I think it's all these things working together. The fact that there's a sun, that it's rotating around, it's rotating on its own axis.
Mm-hmm.
That's what holds everything together. It's a delicate balance. And I feel like if you take any one piece of that and break it away, it's likely the atmosphere would come apart.
But, I mean, an asteroid is going to be much smaller in mass than a planet. I mean, that's why it's an asteroid, not a planetoid. Right?
Is anyone going to be upset if I top off my beer?
Absolutely not.
Is there anyone want more of this?
You go for it.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking, and then I didn't have a chance to drink.
I'll fill you up.
But no, I'm going to say this is slightly relevant, but it's really overall not. Because it's... Way to spill.
Well, I'm glad that I'm the one that drove John and I here.
Oh, I'm fine. I
really
like these beers. And if you guys aren't digging this one,
beers ain't shit.
I'm going to indulge. I love this beer.
But
I'll attempt to finish this one at least.
I just know that by default you're drinking more than me, so.
But no, it's not the planets and gravity and all this. They're not the main point I'm trying to get.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the void.
Yeah, the void of space. Like once the cloud has receded to the sun finally goes out, there's nothing holding what used to be the solar system together. The asteroid belt is scattered to the four corners of the universe. There's no rotation. Nothing is left. Everything is off like a shotgun shell through space to either get grabbed or float aimlessly through space because there's no other gravitational force. So outside of our Oort Cloud, we don't know how space is. It's probably a vacuum. Who knows?
Isn't it a vacuum inside of our cloud too?
Yes. Space, like I said, I didn't go through and look everything up, but inside our Oort Cloud, we are a vacuum. Outside, I can probably guess it's a fucking vacuum.
Well, I mean, it's a guarantee.
But molecules, particles, all that could be in a completely different state of movement. Like if you get outside the Oort Cloud, let's say we finally got a probe outside the Oort Cloud, and as soon as it breaches, our galaxy pings off with it. You'll never be able to get this drone back because we are moving at so many trillions of miles per second that the beacon is just getting years behind us by the second of conventional means. Like Voyager 1 finally exits the cloud that is protecting our galaxy from the expansion of space, and suddenly we see it in the rear view, disappearing into the void.
I don't think you'd see it because I'm pretty sure that the second you get...
I'm 100% lost.
Okay. The second we get a few hundred miles, or not even a few hundred, well, you know what I mean, in relativity of space, our mile is nothing.
Yes.
So you get thousands or even a light year away from the sun, ain't gonna fucking matter.
No, but the signal is still sent back. It may take days to get it.
You're not getting shit.
No,
because
they will
dead.
get one last ping before it exits the Oort Cloud, and then they will never see it again because we will be moving too fast for that signal to catch up to us.
Oh, yeah.
Because
John, here's a visualization. You're riding on a train, and you throw a baseball out the window, and it just pings off into nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he's attempting to insinuate.
Mm-hmm. You ever been hit by something thrown from a moving car?
John, shut up.
But I don't
Let me speak my truth.
Your truth is bullshit. But no, I don't want to say that the void is an unmoving thing, because I think that signal will move, but I think it will disappear behind us because our galaxy is moving faster.
Well, what's to intercept this single signal?
We're following Voyager. We've been following Voyager for 40 years. It's been sending signals back forever. Ever since they launched it.
See, when I think about the void and what I was mentally geared up for.
John, I haven't gotten through the first third of this fucking talk yet. I'm getting through the scientific side of what I think the void is.
Okay.
You have to let me get to the rest of it. The fear of it, what could possibly be there, what might be there.
Yeah, get to the fun part.
No, you're getting the fucking build up. But no, the Oort Cloud.
Instead of aliens, Cthulhu.
I demand intellectual foreplay.
No. But I actually looked into this.
Our brains are being fucked right now.
But I'm honestly convinced that our galaxy inside the Oort Cloud is what is moving. The moment you get outside of that space was not affected by the Big Bang. There is no push there anymore.
Okay, so the idea of the Big Bang is not that it created our solar system, but that it created the entire universe.
Yes.
So why would the space outside our solar system not be affected?
I think it had already been affected. We are the matter that is moving through space. I think outside of our area, our immediate solar system,
It's just an energy void?
it's just a void of nothing. It is a vacuum with nothing in it. There is no movement.
There's no stars?
There's stars, but everything's moving
So
away.
there are things then.
That's why I think, like,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to grasp where you're going here.
You went from our local to stars.
Well,
I'm saying
because you said
once-
outside of our local,
Outside of our
You
local,
said there's
there
nothing.
are others. There, yeah.
and I said, so there's no
immediately-
stars, and then you said, no, there's stars.
Outside of our immediate solar system,
Okay.
outside of our Oort Cloud, there is not another Oort Cloud with a solar system right there.
Why
I need
not?
to look up this term because I've never
heard
ever
Oort Cloud
heard Oort
either.
Cloud before.
I hadn't either.
And now I've heard it like 80 times.
Well, see, and that's where I was like totally unprepared and thrown off guard, because when I was thinking about the void, I was thinking about like the void is in the idea of the unknown, the darkness, you know.
If you'd stop fucking
More of, like,
interrupting
a
me, we can
supernatural
get
sense.
to it.
But, okay, so
I'm not sure how this is going to take a hard right turn back to the.
This is one
'Cause
way
you-
to fucking look at it.
Okay, because like
I-
you've
I've
been
told
going
you-
pretty hard into space, and I'm like,
Yes, I told you.
Oh.
This is the scientific void.
Okay.
This is what
a different void,
This is the practical void.
So we're just waiting for the
the
mythological, void.
tangible void.
Yes, this is the tangible void. You have to get through with the real and what I think is it before you can get into the spiritual and scientific.
That'd be a good name for an author.
What?
Tangible void.
Okay, whatever.
So
But no, I believe
if everything outside the Oort Cloud is moving differently,
it's not moving at all.
okay, then why are constellations in the same place every fucking time?
Because they're circling one massive star. There are stars that
No.
are bigger than our solar system.
A lot of our observable stars are outside the Oort Cloud.
John, there are things outside of our Oort Cloud. You need to get
But you said they're not moving.
No, the matter is moving. Outside of our
Okay, matter
imagine,
is all the is.
John.
The is matter.
John, imagine this.
It doesn't even matter.
You have
Well, like
And-
art. See, like so
Can I fucking explain
Here's
without
just-
getting interrupted?
here's
At
just
the
the-
same point, I'm trying to
here's just
explain.
the same thing. Here's like this simple, like
Don't interrupt.
you said that.
Just wait.
You said that star constellations are outside of our Oort Cloud,
Right.
so that means that they're moving because they're still there.
If we are
If
we are pinged off like some ping pong ball through the space.
We would cease to see those.
Through the space.
I'm sorry.
You know, back in 1969,
It
they
broke
said
in my
a rocket
brain
up
listening
into
to
the
him.
space. God, Jason.
But we're just flying off through space. Wouldn't we be passing constellations by if nothing outside of our Oort Cloud is moving?
I think we wouldn't even see stars because we'd be passing so fast.
It would just be streaks across the sky.
Yeah, it'd look like we're going through hyperspace in
Brian
Star
finish.
Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian.
Which is worse, not having a topic or bringing one that no one understands?
Well, I've been trying to get past the same fucking point, but I keep getting interrupted. All right. So since you're not getting it, imagine now. Don't fucking laugh or say a goddamn word. A gumball machine full of round gumballs.
How dare you, Brian? How dare you say don't laugh and then go a gumball machine?
Okay. So
That's not fair.
that's not fair. But imagine, if you would, a gumball machine with a stick of dynamite inside of it at the head. You want me to dumb this down? You gotta. This is the dumb down. I need you assholes to understand what I'm
let him
getting at.
finish.
Okay, that gumball machine with the stick of dynamite in it, that's the Big Bang. All the matter is located in one singular spot, and it explodes out. That initial shockwave is what flings everything through.
Mhm.
Now that shockwave is gone. All those gumballs are flying through the universe.
But some stayed inside the glass.
No. The glass is gone. The glass is obliterated.
Okay.
The initial point is nothing. All the
what
matter...
he's saying is our...
I'm getting fucking interrupted
Don't
again.
interrupt him.
let me see if I've got this right. The Oort Cloud is the gumball.
Yes.
Aha!
The galaxy
See,
is the
Our
gumball.
galaxy is a gumball that got pinged off by the Big Bang.
It's the matter.
Okay.
Because we know at the point of the Big Bang, all matter condensed into a single molecule and exploded out. Now, explosion... Do we know that? Fuck no, we don't know that.
That's the Big Bang's theoretical, too.
Who the fuck cares?
Nobody knows anything.
John, shut the fuck up.
I think everything outside the world is theoretical.
I like that, though. We are just a gumball flying through the void. Like, that
Yes.
feels comforting.
But, if I could fucking please get to the end of this...
Well...
You can mount Summit. What's your fucking point?
Shut up, Jesse.
I need to get at that explosion when you're that gumball, and that's matter. That's your molecules coming out. All that stuff had to form to create what it is, because it was just molecules at the point of eruption. So all that came together over trillions of years to create what we know, and all that formed the magnetic fields. Everything, no matter what it was. A galaxy like the Milky Way galaxy surrounds one giant point and is spiraling into that point. Whether it's a black hole or a giant star, we don't know. If it's a giant star, then that giant star at the center of the Milky Way galaxy is a big gumball machine holding all the other gumballs inside of it. But our local one, gumballs do not stack perfectly. No matter what, there is space between them no matter what happens, because they're orbs. Like magnetic fields are orbs. There is no square magnetic field.
They're not even orbs.
They pull.
They're ellipsoids. They
What
have
the
poles.
fuck ever. But no, there's always going to be dead space between an Oort Cloud and an Oort Cloud. So in that dead space would be the void where there is nothing. That initial shockwave that threw us is gone. It is the edge of the galaxy.
He's technically right, because even if, magnetic field's not an orb, it's an ellipses and there's poles, if you were to stack magnetic fields, there would be an empty space between them. So what he's saying is, like, there's like breaks in the fabric of the universe that is the void.
Yes,
that's outside the observable.
So we could pass from one Oort Cloud to another,
But we'd
where
have to
they're
pass through the
touching.
void.
where they're touching, but where it's an empty space, we would get
Like
sucked
Avengers
off?
time travel.
No.
Like
It's-
Avengers time travel.
No. Because our galaxies aren't touching. They have been spread out over the millennia and trillions of years that they're there.
So, okay, so we're overcomplicating this.
Are we?
What you're talking about is empty space.
Yes, it's the void.
Okay.
And
The parts of space that are empty.
yes. Now, again, we're back to the gumball. Once something falls out of the Oort Cloud that is the edge of that gumball, I don't think it would continue following us at the speed we were accelerating. Because we are accelerating out on the force of the Big Bang. That has just fallen outside of what was pulling it.
Well, it's probably going its own direction.
One direction.
One direction.
Yeah, whatever. But it would fall out of our Oort Cloud, which means it would lose the acceleration or power it had before and just drift. We would pass it because we are accelerating past it at that point, and it would end up in the dead space. There's nothing there.
The Twilight Zone.
So if you had a car that could travel at the speed of light and you turn on the headlights, what would happen? Is that
Nothing.
basically what you're saying?
No.
Like, we're traveling at a speed and we toss something out the Oort Cloud. It's just kind of unknown what the fuck happens.
Yes. Essentially. It is the
It
void.
goes into the void.
It just that is the scientific void of we have left it behind in the empty space behind
It's
us.
completely gone from our observable universe.
I swear to
Even though
God,
it
if you
exists
bring this
somewhere, then it's, what I'm trying to say is what you're getting at is that, like, if something's thrown out of the Oort Cloud, it's out of our observable universe. Therefore, to us, it does not exist, but it is somewhere in the void.
I'm not letting you fucking transfer this.
To what?
Well, that's
no.
that's,
It's
I feel like that's
where
the
do you
point.
think I'm going?
I think you're trying to get back to your stupid little first episode thing.
Hold on.
No, I wasn't going anywhere with
Okay.
it. I just was like trying to get your point.
I feel like that goes back to the actual point. It's like, so we're talking about the void. So then what happens if something goes into the void?
Nothing. This is the scientific picture of it. Once it hits there, it is stuck there to drift through that like section of space because everything else is disappearing away from it at a high rate of speed. This thing is going to sit in this section of space where it fell out for the rest of eternity.
But wouldn't it get kind of slingshotted and like thrown?
That's what I was thinking. But
who's to say it'll just not freeze in the void and just be like, boop.
It
Just absolute zero and stop. It's robbed of all
Well,
energy.
absolute zero doesn't exist and can't exist. Cannot.
Yeah. So that's the scientific void is what I'm talking. It's all the empty space behind every piece of matter flung from the initial explosion of the Big Void, the Big Bang, the darkness at the center of the universe. Because you're seeing all the stars across or around, but there is nothing at the center anymore after that explosion. All matter was flung out.
I'm ready for angle number 2. What's the non-scientific void?
The non-scientific void is the, I don't know if I would say spiritual or the supernatural look at the void.
Let's all grab a drink and we'll get into round 2.
Let's dig into Brian's void.
Asshole, you know why? I know why you're doing
All right.
I love that beer.
Brian has cleansed the palate. Now
I've been drinking that the whole time.
No, I know you have. We all have.
It's like lemon juice. Like it's really sour.
It is like lemon juice.
No. Okay, but onward. I would say spiritual or supernatural, religious, that kind of void. There's several ways to look at it. You got the void in the unknown sense that it's the after death that no one can have any certainty of. Is it just darkness? Is it an afterlife? Is it a higher plane of existence? Do we reality hop with a soul? We don't know.
Quantum leap.
Sure. But then you have
spectacular, right?
The supernatural terror part where our entire existence as a galaxy was produced by an outside being that we cannot perceive because of what we are, how small we are in our galaxy. Like the darkness surrounding us could be the hand that holds our galaxy closed. And if it were to ever open and suddenly our night becomes day, we would not be able to comprehend that and we would die. Or we would be driven to madness. Like the Cthulhu mythos kind of deal. There is a great being outside of our reach, but within our galaxy.
We touched on this in the last episode a little bit, that the supernatural beings or the divine are incomprehensible to our consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's why that appearance of an angel we were talking about in the previous episode, they had this like crazy description. They could not look at it because they couldn't
it would
process
drive you
it.
mad.
So the idea is that like these greater beings, the supernatural beings, are just completely incomprehensible to us.
Yeah.
If they exist.
Yeah. But it's the abyss. It is literally the definition of the unknown. We do not know. It's like if a humanity looks into the abyss stares back. Usually it drives you mad, or it changes you, or all sorts of manner of terrible things that it does to you.
I like the comforting idea of just like a great emptiness. And like when you ever like go for a walk alone at night?
No.
And everything is just quiet. The whole world's just,
can't say I have.
Silent.
I can honestly say
and
no.
it's the most comforting feeling. You feel like you're alone in the whole world.
No.
Just do it sometime. Go for a walk alone at night in like a small town.
Yeah. Yeah, location.
Yes, location.
And then,
don't go for a walk alone at night in a large city.
Yeah, get murdered. Get murdered in a small town.
Actually alone.
Or just take off and go walk through a cornfield at night.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You want to talk about being alone.
You ever seen Signs?
Yeah. Most of the signs I thought was just like bullshit. But that leg in the corn freaked me the fuck out.
That movie, seeing that movie as a young child, that was terrifying. Like, when I watch it now, I'm like, yeah, it's science, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that movie was great.
Yeah, there was 2 points I jumped at that movie. It was the leg in the corn, because I know how horrible your visibility is, because I used to work in cornfields.
Mm-hmm.
And then the footage on the TV where it just all of a sudden rounds the corner.
At that birthday party?
Yep.
Like, yeah, whew. That was really well made.
I'm sorry, I can't be scared of anything you can beat to death with a super soaker and a baseball bat.
They didn't know that yet.
Yeah, to be fair.
Okay, let's go back. We are a super advanced alien race. We know what our weaknesses are. We're going to intentionally invade a world that has this fall from the sky and cover 70% of the world that we're trying to take.
Maybe they didn't know that was a weakness because they had no idea it even existed.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't something that existed on their planet.
They're capable of interstellar travel, but they don't know what water is.
We don't know what things are on other planets that we've never been to. How would we know? Till we go and find out.
For all we know, we can land on another planet and its atmosphere is cyanide.
Yeah. But we can see that. We there.
Can't visualize cyanide. We wouldn't know until we were there to test it.
No, but we know what its molecular makeup is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if they don't have hydrogen or oxygen on their planet and they don't know that the combination of those two would kill them?
Yeah, it could be an element we haven't discovered yet.
I'm sorry,
another planet.
No,
we do discover new elements.
What is the first thing we would do upon reaching a new planet? If we were able to go and like walk on it, what do you think the first thing we do is?
Land.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Plus,
land.
How can you say that wasn't a scouting party? They were sneaking around looking for different things.
They were all over the world.
Right?
They were
all over the world, but I mean, they could still.
They
be
were
a scouting
actively
party.
attacking people and kidnapping them.
No, they weren't.
Were they not? They
No.
were attacking people.
No, because like the situation in Signs was that one of them was in their house and they locked it in a pantry and they cut off its fingers and it like came back for revenge.
Is that really what that is?
Yeah, they had not done anything to anyone.
Oh, that's fucking
People
stupid.
were just freaked out by their presence and saw them as a threat. They actually hadn't done anything to anyone.
Right.
Okay, well that makes it even worse. Because a scouting party that doesn't scout ahead
They are
to
the scout
analyze.
You can't scout what you haven't scouted.
But he's right, though. Chances are we would have, before we ever go to any planet, we'd put a rover
Probe.
there, and we'd discover a planet that could support life, and it'd be hundreds of years before anyone ever actually went there.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
So for them to just send a bunch of people all over the world is a little crazy.
So the spiritual void.
the supernatural void.
So
of
the idea that it is something so
so incomprehensible
Thank
to
you.
our senses as humans that it literally drives us to madness just to witness it, or kills us outright because we do not have any way to actively comprehend. Like it blinds you or does something.
So
That
here's what I'm thinking. Like, couldn't we just make a bunch of computers just sit there and randomly generate images? At some point, wouldn't we generate an image that we can't understand?
on a computer we made? No.
No.
Never.
Brian's right.
It's just a visual
You could give
a visual field, right? It's something you look at through your eyes and drives you mad. That makes no sense because we look through our eyes every single day.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, is our brain creates the images. Like, so our eyes take it in and our brain processes it and we see things. So there's a pretty common idea that, like, there are certain things that we don't see because our brain filters it out because it's outside of our understanding. And so to be directly confronted with nothing but that would kind of, like, overpower the brain, you know? A little bit of overstimulation.
I mean,
but yeah, like creating, having a computer create random
I don't think
images.
there's-
If we created the computer, there's no way it's going to create something we can't. You know what I mean?
yes. I mean,
it's all
a
just
computer
visual information,
a computer can create like a fractal image that extends forever,
right?
but only the computer knows that extends for trillions of layers deep.
But we'll just look at it and go, that's cool.
We'll just look at it and go, that's a lot of neat little triangle dimensions. The thing, like the creatures of the void, you would see them and know, you would see every single layer just by looking at them, that this creature is something that should not exist in my reality.
An innate wrongness.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like the feeling I was talking about a few episodes ago.
Yeah, it feels like
feeling of evil or wrongness that you just get in your gut.
No, it's not even wrong. It's just, you know, this is not something I am supposed to understand or see. It's not an evil or a good thing. It is something that is beyond your station in every aspect. There is nothing about you that should... You cannot touch this and get a sensation that would ever be recognizable.
So this feels like he's leaning very heavily on Lovecraftian lore.
That's...
Oh, you stomped it.
Huh? What?
I was going to end his sentence with, like Brian's browsing history.
What?
Something you see and you're like, this is out of my realm. I'm not supposed to understand this. Could drive you insane.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the abyss, but of that okay, trying to word this correctly. That is the abyss of the terror that is the unknown. Something that you, no matter how many years you studied the things that are described or whatever, the blind philosophers, they describe it in vivid detail, but no matter what, it will overpower you.
Like, basically, no matter what, you could never be prepared for what
Yeah, there's no
see.
way to be prepared for it, ever. Like the blind philosopher that saw a billionth of what this creature was, lost his mind for 20 years and went blind.
Right.
And then finally, in his old age, was able to give a coherent sentence before his own death. And
Okay, so what property do we believe he saw the blind philosopher in?
it's in
a
Greek
book?
mythology
Okay.
and Roman and
I didn't know if this is another one of you
Mesopotamian and
trying to pass off Dark Souls as a theory, or...
no, the fucking shrine maiden is not that. She holds the souls. But no, it's the old, like, soothsayer has been a thing through thousands of years of human history and story tales. And they always describe something that is incomprehensible to man. No person will ever be able to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And that's a very old story for human history,
Mhm.
and it's always relatively the same. Which makes me think that
Well, I mean,
there's
to say
more
it's
truth in that.
incomprehensible is always going to be the same. It's always going to be, you can't understand it. I mean, how could not understanding it be different between different storytellers?
it's the no active way of description. It is, you can, like, sometimes they'll try to say it's kind of like this but not, and then the blah blah blah, but it's always comes back to the biggest thing, the biggest threat or the biggest unknown was there is no physical way for me to describe this in any manner of human speech.
Right.
It is just a
So yeah,
a
a lot
thing.
of stories are going to describe things as indescribable. I mean, there is no other adjective at that point. It's indescribable.
Yeah.
That's an adjective.
I'm saying there's no other adjective. It's the only adjective applicable.
I would take it as there has never been a word in the human languages that could describe this creature as like that. Like no language across our thousands of years of existence would be able to remotely describe this creature or thing or whatever. That's that side. Where that's super old dark gods back in the Stone Age. Like 10,000 years ago, they worshiped things. We have, I don't know if documented is the word, that they worshipped, but there were altars to things way back when of they describe it as this, they describe, and then there's the ones they have no physical idea that we don't know how to describe. There is a word, that's what they named it. There is no physical form to this because they could not make it anything. And that is what I believe is that side of the abyss. We do not get to go there.
Right.
That is, like I said, it's above our station. We will never see that unless they come to us.
I don't know about all this, but I think you're scaring Jesse because he keeps cozying up to John over here.
We're leaning into each other, trying not to breathe heavily into our mics.
Yeah.
You didn't even say that into the mic.
No, you didn't.
But we're leaning into each other, trying not to breathe heavily into our mics. I'm just like lost in thought. I'm thinking about like, what do we call this episode? Like,
And I'm just
Brian's Abyss.
Brian's Abyss.
Man,
I'm just holding on to like
Brian's Void.
I'm just trying to hold
So
on.
we gotta find like a good butthole joke. You know what I mean?
The depths of Brian. But no, it's
Brian's chasm.
I mean,
Brian's gaping abyss.
like look at it on more of a micro scale. Like I was saying earlier.
Brian's gaping abyss.
I hate you. I hate you guys so much. We're gonna take everybody else's topic seriously, but goddamn, Brian shows up.
This is rough, Brian. I'm sorry. It's just it's rough.
This is really hard to follow.
Yeah. Because this is something that's so deep in your mind, and I'm just like, I'm trying so hard to understand.
That's why we've been so quiet. Like just sitting here, like
Just
I'm
been
trying to
listening to
contribute.
Brian ramble for the last however
Yeah.
long.
So what this reminds me of is Lovecraft's short story, Beyond the Wall of Sleep, wherein this simple mountain man, every time he falls asleep, this entity from the other side of the abyss tells him about what the abyss is. But, because of, this contact with this otherworldly being, he sounds like he's just a mad, rambling man.
All right, I got somewhere to go.
So
I got somewhere to go.
it is the mad ramblings of Brian after his, exploration of the abyss.
Jason, I hope you've heard of this because you'd probably love this whole concept from that story. Have you ever heard of the Book of Urantia?
Just keep going. I don't know.
Okay, so the Book of Urantia, or Urantia, is this huge text that was put together. It's like a cult, okay? But it was supposedly put together from people rambling in their sleep. And it's weird.
That sounds like it needs to be an episode.
It's like thousands of pages. It's a whole thing. It's like a cult. Like, for sure, it's a cult.
Yeah. So basically what we have here is Brian trying to describe high-level concepts in the only words he knows. And we're just trying to make heads or tails of it.
Like blind prophets. It's indescribable. I don't know. I was so excited for the void.
The void, the abyss.
Yeah.
We were expecting
so
jovial feelings.
is there another avenue that you were going to go down for?
There was the comforting part of the abyss.
Okay,
let's go there.
Let's go to
The embrace of the abyss is also, I don't know if it's a biblical thing or if it's an Old Testament or a Mesopotamian. I don't fucking remember because I didn't.
You didn't.
I looked into it, but I didn't memorize it. But it's once the soul has departed the physical flesh, you ascend to the next level, and it's darkness, and it's not pleasure. It is just you are in comfort.
Okay, that's
for all of existence.
That's neither biblical nor Mesopotamian. It's more modern spirituality.
Is it?
In that you just become one with the universe again. It's just a different state of existence.
Is it? Okay.
You become energy again, and you're one with the universe. It's just an endless state of comfort.
You're a force ghost.
Yeah. No. But it's that side where your soul is at peace. You have done your physical duties and you have reached comfort or nirvana, I would guess. And that is, but you never see anybody. It is your soul. You are only inside yourself.
Sounds really boring.
And then you take your soul out there just being an energy being. You gather more energy, influence the physical world, and become God.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm getting real sick of your guys' shit.
No,
I'm getting
just
really-
trying to
That's a whole
understand.
fun rabbit hole to go down.
But I think, though, is what you have managed to achieve here
It's confusing the ever living fuck out of 3 other people.
is we all got to
that's a tough thing to
we
do.
all
though,
got
in
to
this group.
experience the madness that comes from gazing upon the abyss.
Brian has gazed deeply.
Into the abyss of my own soul.
Ooh.
Seriously, man, it's like having a 5-year-old here. Can you?
I do it on
play-
purpose.
He is doing it on purpose because he's very irritated with us.
Yes. Very. Slightly. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
That's all right. Jesse's going to have it the worst because
Probably.
that will be the drunkest episode.
The drunkest. We've had like 4 drinks total by that point.
Isn't that sad?
Of some high.
We are men of weak minds and weak constitution.
Who's drunk? Because it's
I'm
not
tipsy.
you. No, you're not.
I'm tipsy
You
for
bitch.
sure because I have a headache and I have to pee.
Well, we're not drinking them fast enough. They're just each beer has enough alcohol to like really get somewhere, but then we're not drinking
That's why I'm
fast
getting a
enough.
headache. The next one though,
We'll cure the headache for a second, and then you'll be even worse.
I got some snickerdoodle popcorn that I'm going to be eating.
Okay, so we want to give some closing thoughts to the abyss, or do you still have more you want to present?
I think I'm good on presenting. I'll bring it up next time. On Abyss
It
2.
actually will be good in the next episode.
Abyss 2, Electric Boog.
Be a good concept in the next episode.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
Boog.
what I was
So-
thinking.
The idea of things that are beyond comprehension, yeah, sure, why not? Could be interesting, but kind of like this conversation. So
What conversation are you talking about? The one I was having with myself?
Well, it is a conversation.
It is, and I have it very regularly.
John, you're
Have fun, everybody.
okay.
I hate you so fucking much. Do I hate you?